So we start off our very first speaking session. The title is called Journey as a Freelance Web Developer. Okay, so let's talk about speaker's journey as he ventured in the world of freelancing, the ups and downs, the lessons learned, and most important, the support that he got from the local IT community in Singapore. So a brief introduction about Zion. Zion Ng is a Singaporean freelance web developer at intzone.com. Programming has been his favorite hobby since his teens, a tool to create solutions for himself, family, and friends. He believes in lifelong learning as passion may die off, but passion for learning will keep the flame alive. He graduated from the School of Computing. National University of Singapore is also a Zend Certified Engineer, PHP and Zend Framework. Okay.
Good. Thank you very much. Okay, once again, very good morning. Thank you for gracing your this occasion with your presence. My name is Zion. Today I'll be sharing on my journey as a freelance web developer. Okay, just a disclaimer first. I'm not earning millions per year. I'm just your average, typical, struggling freelancer. The context is as a Singaporean in Singapore and doing it free time. As in, this is my day job. This is not a part-time job. I'm doing this full time. So, some of my background. I made use of my friend Chian's life project and map out the tech events in my life. So there's a nice timeline. If you're interested, you can go to live.zend.sg. In summary, I started programming when I was in my teens, at the age of 14. So it's become my passion and hobby. So you can say that I'm doing what I love right now, kind of. So the story goes that previously, I was working in the events company, and come May 2014, there was a retrenchment exercise. Every department was retrenching staff. I was in the IT department. There were only 3 people. The manager, I was a lead developer, and there was another developer. So basically, I got axed. So I was thinking, what should I do next? Should I look for another job? Then I told myself, I want to try freelancing, or else I'll be too old. And in case you're wondering why there's a picture of Garfield, that's because I'm the same age as Garfield. So that's how old I am. And thus, Engineers.SG was born. I've owned this domain since 2003. So I thought, why not I just name my company after that? So I went to register a sole proprietorship. This is the simplest form of business registration. No hassle, you don't need to keep audited accounts. But basically, your company is you and you are the company. If you pass away, the company is gone as well. Why register? Because when I meet clients, I do not want to give them the impression that I'm a fly-by-night hobbyist, script kiddie. See, I've registered a proper business. You can be rest assured, and I can also issue official invoices for my client for the accounting purposes. And if they want to claim some grants for the government, it's always better to have official invoices. So I registered with the Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority of Singapore. $65 for registration, very cheap. $3.30 for my business profile. I also registered with the HDB, which is the Government Housing Board, for the Home Office scheme. Basically, it is to legalize my working out of my home. So right now, my home is my office. I don't pay any rent. But not all businesses can apply for this. For example, if you are going to sell chicken rice, you cannot operate out of your home. Your neighbors will all complain. But things like web development, yes. Next was a bank account. As I said just now, for sole proprietorship, the government doesn't make any difference between the company and you. So actually your finances are the same. But for me, as a developer, I want to have separation of concerns. So I thought, okay, I want to have a separate bank account. My business income and expenses will be separate from my personal expenses. It's to make my life easier for my accounting and tax. So I signed up with the DBS Entrepreneurs account for startups. The terms have changed, but at the time I was signing up, the terms was that the minimum balance of 10K will be waived for the first 6 months. So I had 6 months to try to earn money and build up my bank account. It started with $500 deposit. So I had 6 months to build up it. After which there will be a fall below fee of $35 per month where you fall below 10K. Next will be income tax. So now every April when I file my personal income tax, I have to write another 2-line statement. Because sole proprietorship is very simple, I do not need to submit any audited accounts. It just say how much is your revenue, how much is your expenses. That's it. Now CPF, for those who are not local, it stands for Central Provident Fund. It's a retirement fund managed by the government. So if you are working in a Singapore company, every month you deduct 20% from your gross salary and deposit into your retirement fund, and the employer will top up with another 17%. So right now I'm self-employed, I have no more CPF. So my retirement is a bit worrying. But what the government does is, every year when I file my income tax, they'll calculate a little percentage, say, hey look, you are self-employed now, you still need to look after yourself. So please contribute this amount into your MediSave, the medical part of your retirement fund. Next, equipment. I only had a personal desktop at the time when I started the business, but I had to meet clients, so I bought a laptop and I bought the Surface Pro 3, which I'm using right now, because I like the touch screen, and the stylus came in very useful when I was taking notes when doing meetings. And I bought a 4G modem, which I'm also using right now, because basically I don't trust public Wi-Fi. And of course, I made name cards. I paid about $40 for 200 double-sided cards. So this is how my name card looks like right now. I'm on the third batch of cards already. The front, which is on top, is my contact details, and the back is my list of my certifications. Okay, projects. So how do I get my projects? So I started off with going to some freelancing website where you sign up and then you actually bid for projects. Normally the clients will like pick the lowest bid, so it's always a tough competition. Also by word of mouth. So at this point, when I started my so-called one-man show business, I had to get into a marketing mindset. Now when I meet new people, when I go for visitation during Chinese New Year, I need to remind myself, hey Zion, what are you doing now? Yeah, I started freelancing. Oh, by the way, here's my name card. So I had to get myself into the habit of giving out name cards. And of course, but no flyers. I don't know about you, but every time when I open the letterbox, right, I see all these flyers, right, I get very irritated. I'll just throw them away. So I told myself, I don't want to inflict the same pain upon my neighbors. And in any case, I'm just a one-man show. So there's only so many projects I can take on at one time. There's no point shouting out loud, hey, my whole HDB neighborhood, I'm doing freelancing now, please come to me. I won't be able to take them also. I started with a fixed project fees, started very low. Like you go to those freelancing portals, people are asking, I want $50 for a website. Okay, I started with 250, then I went on to 500, 800, 1K, 2K, 3K. Later on I tried per hour as well. How about salary? Basically, I did not draw any money until I met the minimum balance in the corporate bank account, which was 10K. Thank God, within the 6 months, I managed to build a 10K just nice on the dot. So for all this while, I was living off my savings. Afterwards, for every project, I will draw 90% of the net profit. So for example, if the project is 1,100 and I spend $100 on plugins, domain registration, web hosting, I will draw $900 for my own use. But this is still taxable. I cannot say this is counted as business expenses. No, because it's a sole proprietorship. Interestingly, 6 months later, in December 2014, my ex-manager called me up for a cup of coffee, say, can you please come back and help part-time, because the remaining developer got a job offer in the US, and yeah. So I went back to help for 6 months, and it helped to supplement my income for a while. Now training, whether I'm employed somewhere or whether self-employed, I realized that I must be responsible for my skill upgrading, especially in IT where everything moves so fast. New things are coming out every day. So last September, I started attending meetups when I had some time to spare. So first I went to meetup.com, find the IT meetups in Singapore. Later on, I discovered webuild.sg. In fact, Sayani from webuild.sg will be sharing at 1:30 today in this room. Basically, it is a website that curates a list of all the tech events in Singapore. And they have a lot of statistics. They can even tell you how many meetups meet on Tuesday, how many of them meet up in the 3rd week of the month. Very interesting. But I'll let Sayani share more about it in the afternoon. And sometimes you'll wonder, okay, I can't make it for this meetup, but how? Is there any recording? Yes. Engineers.SG, in fact, they are the one doing the recording for FOSSASIA. So if you visit this website, you find that there's a lot of video recordings of all the meetups. So if you have missed a meetup or you want to find out what's the meetup about, you can actually look at the video recording later. I had a client in the banking industry. He told me their version of meetups is like networking events. They will pay a handsome sum of money to go to a nice restaurant, to have a nice expensive dinner. They will give out name cards. They try to close business deals and try to earn commission for one another's company. But I told him that our tech meetups are different. We go there more so to learn from one another, to encourage one another, and they are free. Free admission, free venue, and free pizza. And you find that it's a close-knit community, especially in Singapore. Like most of the meetups I go to, I always see the same person, Michael Ching. He's always the one doing the recording. And when I see Sayani from Webuild.SG, she always has an encouraging word for me, which is quite good since I'm doing a freelancing. So I attended workshops and conferences. I attended the first PHP conference in Asia, which was held in Singapore last year, followed by the first iOS conference in Singapore, and also the DevFest Asia, which was held last year. Thoughts? You find that for most meetups, even for right now, the speakers are not paid. Okay, it's all volunteer basis because they want to share in the spirit of FOSS, free open source software. So I was thinking, since I've received so much encouragement, I've received so much knowledge, it's time for me to contribute back. So I started giving talks. First was a lightning talk at NUS Hackers. It's every Friday at NUS. I gave a lightning talk at the Singapore PHP user group earlier this year, and of course FOSSASIA right now. And part of training will be to try new things. There's only new programming languages are coming out every day. So during my spare time, I pick up a little bit of all this, just scratching on the surface, not in depth. So I bought a MacBook. I'm a Windows person. Swift, Arduino, Node.js, a bit of Rails, and I tried a bit of AWS as well. And during one of the meetups, someone recommended, why don't you try momocentral.com? It is a freelancing platform. It's a platform for freelance designers and developers. The difference between this and those other freelancing portals is the emphasis on quality. So what do I mean? Other freelancing portals, you just sign up, okay, you can start bidding for projects. This one's different. When I signed up, straight away I had to do the online coding test using a proprietary programming language that they created just for the purpose of the test. So you learn the syntax on the spot. It took me 2 hours plus 2 hours to do the test with only 3 questions. And after that, they arranged a video interview. They'll ask me to explain my solutions. So why do you do this? Why do you use this method? And you say, what if I were to do this? Can you change it on the spot? So they want to test whether you have the skills. So after I got on board, I passed the test. They asked me, so is there anything you want to gain more experience in? So I say, I want to learn a bit more about iOS, doing iOS apps. And they actually took the trouble to try to match clients who are willing to take a newbie iOS developer. They go by the hourly business model. They don't believe in fixed project fees. Why? For example, I think your project takes me 1 month and I charge you 3K. But in the end, because of delays, mostly on the client's part, adding a lot of changes, and I take up 8 months. But in the end, I still earn 3K. So I loogie, right? So they go by per hour. So for example, if I were to charge $25 per hour, they'll add like 15 to 20% commission and they'll charge the client $30 per hour. So the client can stop anytime and they collect the fees in advance. So touch wood, if the client were to run away, they still would have the money to pay the freelancer. And supposing you're a client, you only have an idea, which a lot of clients have. They'll say, we'll match your freelance designer for you to do the US mockups. You need a website, Okay, let us match a freelance web developer. You need apps also? We can match you to Android and iOS developers. So they have many designers and developers on board that can help the clients. And the thing that I like most about this, by the way, I'm not being paid by them to advertise. They will assign you a personal talent manager to handle your billing, administration, infrastructure, and let's say you have any problems with the clients or requirement and timeline, right, they can help to negotiate. So, and they recommend to client, you should follow best practices. We have a GitLab and Kanban board, like something like Trello account, you should use that. So I'm quite grateful to them. Right now I'm on a 6-month consultant contract with a startup. It was also through their recommendation. And the lessons that I learned through all this that I want to share with everyone, I met different types of clients. You had stingy clients, you have clients who keep changing their mind, you have clients who will message you every 5 minutes saying that is this done, you have clients that are still okay. Projects, some projects say, can you give me Facebook in like 3 months? Some had original ideas. And pricing, I'm not a very business savvy person, I'm an IT person more so, but I had to learn how to charge according, let's say, the framework. Do you want a simple microsite? I can use simple PHP. Do you want something with a CMS? I can use WordPress. If you want me to do from scratch, I can design the database from scratch. I can use Zend Framework. How many pages does the website have? What components? Do you want special animations? So I learned to try to break down the pricing in such a way. I got to understand my own working style more. For example, I know that I cannot stay the whole day at home doing my work. I will probably march down to the kitchen and get some food, or I will just laze off at the sofa, or I will start watching YouTube videos. So sometimes I will just go down to the coffee shop, or I will go off to the neighborhood library to work. And sometimes I may work 9 to 6. I may work 11 to 3 p.m. Sometimes I may pull an overnighter. So I get to observe how my body reacts to all these working hours. Third, I learned that no man is an island. It's very lonely doing freelancing. You know, like you're at home the whole day, no one else in the house, and you have no colleagues. So that's why if anyone want to try freelancing, right, I will encourage you to go meetups, try to get to know the local community, and they're all very friendly, and they will kindly support you, can give you advice, and teach you what are the good ways of doing stuff. Fourth, life goes on. There will be dry periods without any projects. Then you'll be sitting down saying, I feel very lousy, this is very depressing, should I start looking for a full-time job? So during those times, right, you need to occupy yourself. Life goes on. You're a freelancer, right, so your time is flexible, right? Go cycling around the neighborhood, spend time with your family, pick up some new hobbies like gardening, and instead of watching cats on YouTube videos, right, go down to your void deck. I realized that actually there's an auntie feeding all the cats in my neighborhood, and every void deck has 2 or 3 resident cats. So I got to know all the resident cats in my neighborhood already. And last but not least, this one. Okay, the last point I want to share is in my logo design. I designed this logo for my own company. So first, it spells out the word INTZONE, in zone. It kind of means integer zone. There's Euclidean geometry inside the point, the line, and the polygon. But most importantly, it encompasses the concept of prime numbers. 2, you'll see 2 shades of gray. 3, you'll see a triangle. 5, the 5 points of the pentagon. And 7, the 7 colors of the rainbow. So according to mathematical proofs by Euclid and Euler, there is an infinite number of prime numbers, the same of which can be said of learning, that there is no end. So this is my personal and my company motto. Semper Discens, it is a Latin phrase. It means always learning. So throughout all this, if you don't ask me, if you were to go back to the past, will you choose to be a freelancer again? I say yes, because it has helped me to learn a lot, and I'm in the process of continual learning. Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish and he'll eat for life. But if he does not keep on learning, he'll either get sick of the fish or he'll get bored of fishing. And as the moderator shared just now, passion will die. No matter how much passion you have for programming, sports, or gardening, you will die off. But if you have a passion for learning, you will keep the flame alive. That's all. Thank you.
So we have time for a few questions.
Yes.
As a procurer of freelance services, not my current role, previously I had a startup and I was procuring freelancers mostly through what do you call it, Odesk.
Yes.
I've got to admit, as a procurer, I had a lot of the same problems as you, as finding obviously people to find work from, that the quality wasn't there. Often you'd engage freelancers and they wouldn't finish the job.
Correct.
So hence, a fixed price projects are very good because that stops people from just walking out on it. Although, you know, I'm not someone who just does one fixed price at the end on the tiers to pay it. Any thoughts on how to engage good quality, other than obviously the portal that you showed in your talk? Any ideas on how to engage or see quality in particular freelancers? How to sort, say, maybe the wheat from the chaff?
So for the portal that I shared just now, momocentral.com, they kind of do the quality checking for you, and they have a personal talent manager to so-called watch out for you. But on a personal basis, what I can advise is I can attend meetups. You get to know the developers personally as they share about the projects. You can see, okay, this is my GitHub project, I'm sharing about this. You find that those developers who are good, they always keep on learning, and they are willing to share. They are not afraid to share. Point out mistakes in my code, I will improve on it. So if you were to put yourself behind a glass wall and like you want to find freelancers, it's a bit hard to gauge the quality. So it's best that you can actually meet them in person. So the best is in an informal setting like over here. Yeah.
Okay, one more question, and maybe we can do the changeover while we do the question and answer.
Yeah.
So any other questions?
So no more.
Okay, if
for
not, one more round of applause.
Thank you.